Alright, we are here with Victor, Valgavoth's Seneschal. 3-mana 3/3, Human Warlock. Eerie. Ooh. Whenever an enchantment you control, or whenever you fully unlock a room, Surveil 2, the first time it resolved. The second time, you make your opponent discard, and then the third time you reanimate a creature. Now, the creature reanimation is not mana value limited, which is very interesting. So you could reanimate like Elish Norn and, I guess, Ulamog. However, you have to actually get to that point, and you also have to have something in the graveyard. And that seems incredibly unlikely, especially given how a lot of opponents aren't really going to give you the time to do that, even if you could do it. So I'm not super invested in the third part. However, I would like my opponent to maybe discard some cards and also smooth out my draws while I essentially play Killian, which is a bunch of auras, and just make this a big scary creature instead of like go wide and reanimate things with random enchantments that you play. I'm playing a lot of enchantments, and there are still some very good reanimate hits that are even one-drops, such as, but not limited to, Selfless Savior. Be cool to sacrifice this to protect it, and then just get it back later, right? There's just random stuff like that in here. There's this, can pick up an enchantment if this died or something like that, right? And then do it again later if you can somehow reanimate this. It is pretty difficult to have a healthy amount of enchantments while also having a healthy amount of creatures that are not only worth running to assault your opponent in the face, actually do something to like reanimate, right? So it's kind of hard to have everything. It's extremely difficult. There are some new cards in here. There's the Dollhouse. It's a mythic rare room. I had it in here for a second. However, I don't think the Dollhouse is... It makes a 1/1 when you attack, and then for 6 mana, it makes all of your creatures equal to the size of your total creature account. So like a Voice of Resurgence token or whatever. I actually don't think that's very good. It makes it 1/1 every turn if I'm able to attack, and I still don't think that's very good. The creatures it makes are artifacts as well. They're not enchantments. It seems like an overly complicated version of Bitter Blossom for a creature that doesn't even end up flying, and I don't imagine the 6 side of it's ever worth it. With that being said, I'm still running this card. It's a new card. I don't hate it. It's not that exciting, though. But it's a new card. It's kind of cool. You're probably always going to cast it for 4 mana in a deck like this. The 2/1s are alright. I can envision this maybe swinging once or something, and it would be funny to reanimate this repeatedly. I just don't really see that. Gravebreaker's cool. You can play it. It is an enchantment. It costs 5 mana, though, but it is an enchantment, and if it dies, you keep doing this. You can put interesting creatures in your graveyard to reanimate if you somehow do that. So it does surveil itself, so you're usually going to put something in the graveyard worth it. Maybe that alone can go back and reevaluate, like, oh, I just have like 25, 30 huge stupid things, and then I just try to play 3 enchantments in the same turn and reanimate it. This seems completely impossible to me, right? It just, like, saying that out loud seems ridiculous. However, I suppose it's possible. Your best shot is this guy actually surveilling it, because you don't really have a lot of ways to discard it yourself if you just draw it. And I don't want to have 55 like stupid targets for this and then get lucky. So I'd want my creatures to actually sort of be castable on the front side and then maybe reanimate them sometime. Skyclave is a good reanimate target, right? So that's what this commander does, at least the way I've built it. Again, you can probably try a 30 card giant creatures thing and do that. I was in the middle of doing that, and I'm looking at it like, wait, this isn't gonna work. This is impossible. I will suffer for 2 hours getting 3 wins if I try to have 15 giant creatures. At least from my perspective. I've been wrong before, but I think that's a safe assertion of what would happen. So that's all I've got for you. Like, comment, subscribe, send it. Oh, I'm not gonna blow my nose. Esper Sentinel. Okay. I will not swing. Beginning combat, pay 1, create a sorcerer roll. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a card I want. Hello. That's just pay 1, get an enchantment. I like that a lot. Alright. That's neat. I've never seen that card before. Spellbook Vendor. This technically works, so I suppose I don't have a choice here? Maybe I just ignore everything and I don't think I'm ignoring everything. Another land is interesting. I don't think I want that. Let's make our opponent discard a card and name their commander. That's an interesting discard. They put it on the creature itself. I don't get that. Why didn't they just put it on... They could have just put it on the Esper Sentinel. I don't see why they put it on that. It can't do anything. Oh, I mean, it has Defender. Maybe it can do something? Like it blocks still? Okay. Let's see here. Let's send this. And I think there's no reason not to send the Military Discipline as well. Planar Disruption's probably good. Yeah, I'm just going to send it. Get around the Esper Sentinel and make my opponent discard a card. They did just draw one, though, but I don't know. I'm winning the damage race. I have a Selfless Spirit in hand, or in play. It seems good enough to me. They get rid of the other Sigarda, which I don't believe I would have been terribly concerned about. So I'm probably going to make the 10th District Hero have no text. But I also kind of want to get Sigarda out of the way. Other permanents you control have hexproof. So if they play this, I might actually have to... Like, the only way to actually kill my opponent is to avoid that from blocking. Let's see. 10th District Hero 4/4 Vigilance... Heroes, Detective, Legendary, Creature Name, 5/5. It doesn't fly, and I'm not too worried about the damage it's dealing. So maybe I don't want to do anything about that. Creatures, other tapped creatures you control have hexproof. Okay. That's interesting. That's one of the new commanders. But what I'm kind of banking on is just ignoring everything and flying over their head. So, like, land Sigarda seems ideal. Okay. You got it. What does this do? Alright. Okay, so they have the 6th land. It's just not untapped, essentially. So I think I'm winning this race because they don't have any lifelink. I think I'm winning this race, and not everything can attack either. I can take a few attacks from that. Little blockies. Although maybe blocking might have been worth it, but I don't think I have to kill this. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think I have to. Esper Sentinel. Not really that exciting, not gonna lie. Probably won't do anything, but it might be a chump blocker, and that might have merit. Who knows? I certainly do not. I certainly do not know. Okay, I like to see this. I can draw here. Of course, it's nothing. They gain a life. They gain some life. Short. And they have no mana for a roll token. For the spellbook vendor, for once. That's pretty cool. They scry to the bottom. And I will very likely deal with Sigarda. While also taking another 8 damage. So be it. They found a card they like. Not a good idea. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Static Prison. Don't know. So do this, pay for the thingy. Heliod's Punishment is alright. Opponent doesn't have a card in hand. So do I even want a Static Prison? I don't know if I want a Static Prison here. They can't discard, and I'm not surveilling with this. And there's not really anything I can target anyways with their commander in play. So I guess I'm just not doing anything. Yeah, alright. Maybe I wanted to just Static Prison this and Disruption something else. Oh, it's looking like that way now. It certainly looks like that's what would have been a good idea. Mirari's Wake doesn't do that much, I don't think. I'm still winning this damage race, believe it or not. I don't think my opponent wanted to keep that on top. I don't think they did. Maybe they did. I don't know. This is starting to look like chump block territory, though. Maybe I just chump with the Esper Sentinel on the 10 damage. Could be good. Let's see what they do with their scry. Okay, it is on the bottom. Most cards in this spot are not going to be super awesome. I think I'm going to hold off blocking. I'm going to hold off blocking. Again, it's not lethal, and my opponent's going to go to 1 here. Right, yeah. I know what I'm drawing, unfortunately. I don't believe I have to spam removal spells here, so I'm just going to swing. And it's really up to my opponent's top deck, honestly. Because I'm not dead to the board. They did not pay... Interesting. Okay, they also didn't swing all out, which is also unusual. But the card in hand has to do something, otherwise, you know, all this scrying and whatnot doesn't matter. I'm going to block with Esper Sentinel because I don't want to die to some crazy nonsense out of hand. Though I don't really know what that could be. Okay, yep. Okay. This shuffles a lot of cards they scry to the bottom back in. Not upset with that. Sweet, we got there. Kind of a crazy game. My opponent had a lot of things, and I was taking a lot of damage, gaining a lot of life, but like, maybe there's something there. Who knows? Who knows? This is an interesting hand for an interesting commander. I will keep it. Esper Sentinel has as a good shot at drawing a lot of cards. Curse of Silencing this is also pretty good, I think. Who knows? My opponent's Snap kept their hands. Oh, there we go. This is why it took them so long. Kept your hand, like, immediately. Let's curse their commander. Ledger Shredder, yikes. Dark Ritual, that's ironic. Sure, yep. This is map tokens? Okay. Alright, well, if I don't draw a land, I am in a bit of dire straits. I did not draw a land, of course not. This is looking pretty sketch. Looking pretty sketch, not gonna lie. Probably just gonna get mono-blued here. It could have been worse, maybe, I don't know. Make Disappear. They actually want to keep it, too. Do I play D&D? What? Yeah, I play D&D. It's been a little bit of a while, but I DM for D&D. Suppose I'm just going to run this out here. Target non-human. Can I do both? I can. I don't even know if my opponent cares about this. Okay, I didn't think so. That is what I'm looking for, sort of. Oh, wait, it didn't put counters. I thought it was counters. Oh my goodness, I wasted my card. Alright, on the bright side, I don't believe that card at any point would have ever mattered, so I don't feel too bad about that. Don't think it would have ever mattered. Not going to lie. That's my assessment, that it wouldn't have mattered. So let's run this out on this. Let us swing. And I suppose I can't realistically resolve my commander, so I'm not sure what to do now. Maybe lead with Dark Ritual? So what if I cast my commander? It's kind of ugly. What does this do? Stifle? Okay. Sure. I didn't anticipate that. I did not anticipate that. That's interesting. They might have an answer to my commander anyways, and they sort of kind of do. Okay. Sure, yeah. Do we leave up the counter spell? If so, the Ledger Shredder might get its first counter this turn cycle. So I play this, and then I Dark Ritual to pay for the counter spell. Still losing the race, and I'm sure they have more counter magic, so it's alright though. It's going to happen. So let's put this here, see what my opponent does. Nothing. Interesting. Reprobation is another good one. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, I can't believe that worked. I'm a little bit blown away. Not sure what's instant speed that's not a counterspell and not bouncing a creature. Spectral Sailor, sure. And a 2/1, so they have 3 damage in the air. They have damage, but that one doesn't fly. Okay, sure, sure. Oh, it's unblockable. It's unblockable. Right, yep. Alright, you got me. Wow, that's a crazy way to lose. You know what? I missed an out. I had maybe the out of, like, fetching for a white source, top deck swords, or top deck the other white spell, the white menace spell. Although that would have cost me life, because it's not a white fetch land. Tragic. I don't think there was anything I could have done different. I would have had this card still in hand, but that doesn't do anything. This is very slow, and my opponent's not going to let me play the game with that kind of hand, so I'm just not going to keep it here. So we want to lead with Giver. I can play my commander with Dark Ritual next turn. And then... who knows? I almost... see, I don't want to draw another white source is the problem. So, Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, Thoughtseize even. All are a bit annoying. Okay. Take 2. Okay. So do I play it again? Do I play my commander? What do I do now? Maybe these two? Dark Ritual will be 5. No, I'm going to play these two. There's not much merit. Let's see, what does this do? Tyrant creature, attacking creature. Okay, let's do that. I'm a little confused about that. Just a little confused about that. They have another 1-mana spell, it looks like? Okay. Well, yeah, they're doing stuff. It's kind of weird, though. Alright. I suppose my opponent really, really did not come prepared. I can hold off on playing the Cavernous Souls, too. I could just name... well, we'll see. Can also just literally lose the game immediately. Yep. Svella with a 1-drop. Great. We could probably have Jeweled Lotus every game and still lose, honestly. We could have Jeweled Lotus for free every game and still lose. Oh, look, it's Utopia Sprawl on the top. So, now what? Play... They're not drawing a land, but manifesting undoes that. Because that's because of course it does. I want to play this. And then I want that there. Do I kill the Oracle? I don't think I do, actually. I don't think I kill the Oracle. If that's the case, then what? What do I do? I think I'm killing the Oracle. Let's be real. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I should have done? I should have killed it on their upkeep. Because if they didn't draw a land... If there wasn't a land on there, maybe I didn't want to kill it. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe that was a mistake. That might have been a mistake. Oh well, we're here now. We are at the point at which we are. Well, that is notably not a land. Looks like they have one anyways. Okay. I wonder what the best color in my opponent's deck is. I wonder what color their deck is. Very curious. So, play this. Those are literally non-existent. I also should have fetched first. Am I still fetching? Yeah, I need black mana. Okay, that was my bad. That's the second time I've done that. Fetched incorrectly. Do I have an enchantment in my graveyard? Of course I don't. Is there any merit in casting this? There still is. Alright, so what I would really like here is Vigilance. They discard another mana dork. Fascinating. Another mana dork. Jeez. Go for it. Alright, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Great. Opponent gets nothing from me, and the other Atali, which is kind of concerning, but also not that concerning. The bigger issue is Atali being indestructible, and I can't stop it. My best bet here is to... Oh, they actually played red cards, too, on the crucial turn, because of course they did. I can't make my creature unblockable. Wait, why did... Oh, they have a white creature, too. Okay. So, kill this... Is this a human? It's not a human. So I can't do both. This gives me some life. I don't think that matters, but I mean, I guess I killed this random thing, which I knew was a Utopia Sprawl already. Of course, I draw a land. Why wouldn't I? I can name green, and they still have a chump block, so... Let's see, if I swing like this... This goes down when I give it protection. It's not enough. It's just not enough. It's not enough. Nope. It's not enough. Alright, now we're just dead. Yep, just play mono green, and then the only red cards are the big giant payoffs that are basically green cards anyways. I don't know why they didn't kill me. I think I was dead there. Opponent gets a land, and was that Pock? Oh, Cultivator, sure. pretty sure I was dead there, and now I'm technically not dead, but my opponent is also... Well, I guess technically my opponent is dead. I don't believe I'm blocking, so... What's this card? That doesn't do it. And... that doesn't do it? Did I win this game? Are you kidding me? Did I win this game? What? Unless I'm not understanding something, I think I just won this game. No and no. No way. How did I win this? I think my... Did my opponent miss lethal? I think my opponent missed lethal. The fullest understanding of what this commander is capable of, at least in the way I built it, so I don't really feel like playing more games is going to get me anywhere. So this commander was really bad. It was worse than Killian, obviously, and maybe worse than Light Paws. I don't know. Light Paws is pretty solid, though, so it's debatable. There's not a lot of crazy auras in mono white for Light Paws, so it's debatable. However, trying to put a bunch of auras on this and get value that way is incredibly difficult, and I ended up having a lot of really good optimizations as I played. Necropotence almost won me a game, but of course it didn't. What was the main one was Spellbook Vendor. I didn't start the deck with this, but this very good card. Very, very good card for this commander. Really like this card. It just I never played it. I never got into it and had it in play and used it. But that ended up being a really good find. The rooms, the front, one side of, was not this one, this one. The left side of this one is completely solid. It's like, that's just fine. The left side of this one is 2 enchantment triggers for your commander, which is solid. However, the rest of the rooms, I had more when I started, were kind of really, really bad. Actually, one of the rooms is the draw 2, lose 2 life. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's great and all, but like, why would I run that instead of Phyrexian Arena that just does that forever? I don't really... The rooms are terrible. Honestly, the rooms are terrible. I don't even think the Mythic Rare... Actually, I guess it's a good thing I didn't craft it. The Dollhouse would have been abysmal, and I would have ended up taking it out. So the rooms are bad. They're just bad. At least the black and white ones. You know? At least specifically for this, really trying to unlock the rooms, it just doesn't work. That's not a functional strategy. I'm sure there'll be more rooms as Magic the Gathering has more cards come out and more sets, and I'm sure there's going to be an alchemy set with 15 stupid rooms in it, so I expect more. However, currently the rooms kind of suck. You can play maybe more of the high value 3-mana enchantments. I do not have Necro Dominance, but Necro Dominance is pretty solid with this commander, right? And most black decks probably want Necro Dominance. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't really like my payoffs for getting 3 enchantments into play. So I will say, if I would ever play this again, and I probably will at some point, I would go the route of playing a bunch of 1-mana enchantments, have no interest in what those enchantments are, just 1 and 2-mana enchantments for days, and a bunch of big creatures. I remember I said this in the beginning, that I think that's worse than this, but that's not saying much, because this is already really bad. Really, really bad. So, if I do have a bunch of stuff like Gristlebrand, Valgavoth, this is Valgavoth's Seneschal, right? So, if you reanimate Valgavoth with Victor, congratulations, you did the thing, right? You can play Final Parting and the Lamia thing, the snake lady, the snake mommy I took out, and you can run the big enchantment creatures and reanimate them. If you have 3 enchantments, you need this to stay alive. You need 3 enchantments in the same turn, and you need a thing to reanimate for all of that to be worth it. That's not going to happen. Once I go through all the games I had just played, I don't believe there were a lot of games that scenario would have came up even if I had big things in my graveyard. In fact, even if if I started the game with a big creature in my graveyard, there's a lot of games I still wouldn't have been able to reanimate it. Right? I could have started the game with Jeweled Lotus. I could have started the game with a banned card, freshly banned card, in play, and I don't believe my chances of winning skyrocket. I could start the game with this in play and still like lose basically every game I lost. Honestly, I don't even know if that would have changed anything. So this is not a functional commander. To me it isn't. Maybe in paper, right? When paper you have an infinite amount of things you can do. But here, no. You can run reanimate spells like reanimate or unburial rights, right? This surveils, so you could mill it and then do it that way with flashback or something like that. Suppose that's a thing. There's flashback spells that might be relevant for the surveil too. That might be interesting. This isn't an Esper deck, so you can't, or an Esper card, you can't play all the things that from return to Ravnica, all the when you surveil cards do something. That would be interesting if this was blue. You could play, oh, when you surveil, this gets a counter. When you surveil, pick up Bounty Propaganda or whatever that 3-minute enchantment is. Like, if there were Surveil Matters cards, that would be actually pretty neat. Smoothing out my draws is cool. However, a lot of the cards I smoothed out was simply like binning lands. In fact, once you're behind, you're not really smoothing your cards out. You know, you're not like smoothing anything out. I'm like looking at 2 enchantments and I'm like, well, these would be great, but I'm losing to my opponent's board. So giving this +4/+4 is not helping me. So I'm like, I start binning over enchantments and auras. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense, right? Because I want to play enchantments, but I'm getting rid of them because they're not helping me win the game. It just doesn't function. I don't think it functions, again, not in the way I built it. So the next time I build it, I'm just going to say screw it, rip the band-aid off, play a bunch of giant creatures, assume that's good enough. With the 3rd text box piece, that's all I've got. I don't know what else to say. Let me think for a second. Yep, okay. That's all I've got for you. I can't recommend it, not in the way I built it. And that's it. So let me know what you thought about it. If you think the other version is better and you're curious to watch me actually play the other version of this with giant creatures that you reanimate, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Ooh, boy.